You boss babe, independent, can pay your own bills. Why you so offended when a man said, let's split the bills 50-50? Why you so offended when a man slides you the check after the day?
Are you strong and independent, but you're looking for somebody to take care of you and pay all your bills?
Wait a minute!
This is bullshit.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Yeah!
What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Ron back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, I hope you subscribe. Apologies for not posting the other day, you guys. I come under the weather a little bit, but feeling a little bit better today, so we're gonna go ahead and keep it moving. I wanted to react to this video because I found this very, very interesting. This reaction about what this brother said about career-driven women and why they're really not his preference. I want you to pay attention more so to how the women reacted to what he said, even though he said it in a, you know what, I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. Without further ado, let's go ahead and keep it moving. Check this out.
Look, for a man like myself, a more traditional man, like I said, I don't want my woman working full time. This is why I don't typically date career-driven women, because typically those career-driven women do not want to do the things that she's talking about on a daily basis. We see it now where these women that are career-driven women call that a slave or a maid. That is not the type of attitude, because I got the financial part. That's what you're saying I have to do. You're not touching no bills. You're not even paying the tip. Well, I don't want to come home and cook nothing. I don't care if you are working, because you don't have to work. You don't have to. You want to work. That's different. So I don't want to come home and cook nothing. I don't want to come home and clean nothing. If you're expecting me to do all of the financial load, which is fine and I'm cool with it, I don't need a woman that's also out there trying to chase her dreams and go get all this money. It's not needed. I need you to be more of a homemaker. So therefore, when it comes to career-driven women that want to chase the bag, I personally know that they wouldn't be a good fit for me, so I leave them alone.
I think it's great that you acknowledge that that wouldn't be a good fit for you. But I also think that it's a little bit unfair to say, oh, you know what? She, and she, they're all career women, so they're automatically disqualified.
Absolutely. I didn't say automatically.
Well, no, because you're not even going for a career-driven woman. You're not even getting to know them enough to determine if they're career-driven or if they are survival-driven, or if they're career-driven or if they're lifestyle-driven. And you might be able to come in and provide that survivorship. You might be able to come in and provide that lifestyle, and they will take a seat.
Most times they're too masculine, and I don't want to deal with it.
Most
times they're too masculine, and I don't deal with it. But this is the reason. Hold on.
Am I the only man that finds it ironic that a woman can sit over here and try to say it's unfair for you to disqualify a woman over this, even though women disqualify men over a laundry list of things, not to mention y'all disqualify most men y'all come across? Oh, and we're expected to take it on the chin and not say anything like, oh, that's unfair. And then for this woman to sit over here and say, you're assuming that most women are like that. You're assuming that most women would take a seat if that man was willing to cover all the bills. Especially when a brother just pointed out that one of the other women on the panel said she didn't have a desire to do any of the traditional things in the household. And again, I gotta emphasize this. It's really bullshit for you to sit over here and say that it's unfair for him to do that, when we know damn well if we were to bring up all the sixes that most women desire, you're literally eliminating anywhere between 85 to probably 99% of men just off of those metrics alone. So we ain't trying to hear this bullshit. Let's keep it moving.
You know, it's wild to me. I'm watching this panel discussion where a man is talking about being the provider. He wants to be the provider, pay for literally everything. And he wants a woman who is essentially more of a trad wife, wanting to cook and clean, maintain the home, look after kids if you've got any. He doesn't want his wife to have to work, because if you have to work, logically speaking, that means you don't have time or desire to cook and clean all the time. And he doesn't have any desire to do those things, which is why he's willing to pay for everything. Now, there was a time when women said, if you want me to cook and clean, then you better be paying for everything, because I'm not. Okay, cool. So men are conforming to what it is that you said that you want. He's willing to do it. He has expectations in return of you doing the other things. Women on the panel look like they're about to fall out the seat, because he said he is not interested in dating or being with a woman who is career driven. Well, yeah, he said it, and then he explained. If you are career driven and you're chasing the bag, you don't have any desire to do the cooking and the cleaning at the home. He has to go out and work. He doesn't have any desire to do those things. But now, instead of just accepting, oh, okay, well, there's give and take here. Logically speaking, you're saying this is what you're willing to do. Your preference is for somebody who's willing to do the other things that you don't want to do. Cool. But the women on the panel are like, well, I don't think that's fair. No, I don't think it's fair that you're disqualifying women because they want to work. You disqualify men because they don't make enough. You disqualify men because they're not tall enough. You disqualify men for literally anything. Here's the thing, guys. You don't have to be everybody's preference. I don't understand why everybody fighting for their life to be everybody's preference. There can be attractive, financially fit people who have preferences, and you don't make the cut. And that's okay. You also have preferences. Whatever your situation, you've got them. And that's okay. That means you need to find people who fit your preference and people who find you to be their preference. Why is this so hard?
Very good question, but a very easy answer. And I've said this multiple times on my channel. The reason why is because women don't like men having the power of disqualification and refusal. Why do you think they push men to approach them so much and complain about men not approaching them as much as they used to? It's because they don't want to do the approaching themselves, and they don't like the feeling of being rejected, even though men go through this 24/7, and they expect us to take it on the chin. And as much as they complain about how men respond to rejection, women can be just as bad, if not even worse. But let's keep it moving.
Talked a lot about this before, and people didn't like it too much, like men in particular. But I do think it is a lot harder to date as a woman high earner, and especially as a Black woman high earner.
Let me tell you the issue this young lady is currently having when it comes to dating. In her video, she stated that she wants a man that makes over $200,000 per year. The percentage of men in the United States that makes over $200,000 per year is extremely small. Those men have way more options when it comes to dating than she does. So, because of her success, she only wants to date men that makes around what she makes or more. Those men are okay with dating women that make way less than them. And the reason for that is we look for opposite things when it comes to dating. And it amazes me the amount of people that don't understand this. She's effectively become the men that she want to date. In order to be that successful, you have to be assertive, you have to be strong-minded, very opinionated, and dominant. The men are the same way. So if you get in a relationship with them, it's going to be way too much conflict going back and forth. Men aren't looking for that. Successful men are not looking to date themselves. Now, I'm not saying her accomplishments are not important. Obviously, they can be. But you first have to meet the requirements that triggers the attraction to begin with. Think about it this way. If I told you, hey, there's this guy, he's successful, he's loving, he's emotionally intelligent, and he will be there for you in every single way, but he's 5'6". You get my point.
And you know what? Here's the bad part, y'all. 5.8%. That's a very, very small percentage of men. We also got to factor in the fact that she's Black, which means more than likely she's going to want a Black man that makes that much. So you're going to trickle that down that 5.8 and even less. Then you also got to consider the fact of whether he's single. Okay, then you got to factor in whether he's heterosexual. Okay, and then he has to meet the attraction requirement. And we all know how that goes for women. So it's like when men try to explain this to women, we don't explain it as a form of bashing. We explain it as a way of informing you exactly what you're up against. Because 9 times out of 10, if you don't get what you want, you're going to point the finger at us anyway. So at least that way, if we can tell you what you're up against, you can't sit over here and point the finger at everybody else, when, especially men, when those same men are telling you, look, this is what you're dealing with. These are your odds. Don't be mad at us. And this is just another way you know that women who speak like this are living in a delusional bubble to some degree, because if they actually did the research and looked up these stats, which is really just a quick Google search on your phone, anybody can do it, then they would actually probably put a little bit more in effort into trying to lock down a man that meets those certain requirements, because you got to understand supply and demand. If there's far less of what you're looking for, but more people want it, then you know what happens to that product? The price goes up. In reference, meaning you got to do more to get what you want. That's just the unfortunate reality of women, especially successful women who date hypergamously. But even the broke chicks are doing that now. So, what's really the difference? But anyway, let's keep it moving.
What do you think about the boss babe phenomenon?
I think it's all a huge farce. It doesn't exist. I think that women thinking that they're boss babes is pie in the sky silliness. I think it's a result of 100 years of feminist propaganda. It's made women pretty miserable. All the surveys we've done on women since the 1970s show that they're like far unhappier by every metric we can measure than they've ever been. Higher rates of alcoholism, drug abuse, mental illness, childlessness. We have a birth rate collapse. Women now are saying they can't find men on their level because they'll go to college for 4 to 8 years. They'll get a degree. They'll start their career. And then they'll hit 32. They want to settle down with a guy. And they're like, well, he has to make more than me. And he has to be a foot taller than me. And he has to be all these things. But by the time you're in your mid 30s, those guys have already picked girls that are in their early 20s who are going to give them a bunch of kids and stuff like that. So women have all these expectations that are not realistic. They get out into the world as adults and they're like, I don't understand what's happening. And I think it's because we tell them that they can be like men and we're not like men.
So you don't agree that women should be successful on their own? You just think that they need to depend on a man and get married young?
That's a false choice that you're creating. You're saying either I have to be completely dependent on my man and never do anything with my life, or I have to be successful on my own first and then find somebody. It's biological reality that you have a limited fertility window in your life where it's best for you to have children between the ages of about 20 to 35. So if you spend all of your 20s going to college and building a career and you don't even think about settling down until you're 30, which I think you had said that. You said, I'm going to wait until all my eggs are pretty much gone and then I'll think about getting a husband at the end of my fertile years. It's not that you can't get pregnant in your later 30s or even your early 40s, but it gets harder and harder. You have higher risk of complications. And if you have your first one when you're 35, you might have one more. And that's the main reason that we only have 1.6 births per woman in this country and in most developed countries around the whole world now, because women are waiting. So
cooking, man.
And she's correct. And I think this is one of the reasons why you hear more guys emphasize women who do take the time to go to college, build a career and what have you. Typically, they suggest trying to find somebody to lock in with that's in a similar field with you, or somebody that you know is on their way to gaining that success that you're looking for. And I think that's better because not only does it give a woman equity in the relationship, it's going to make a man, it's not going to make a man think that that woman is with him solely just for the money because she's on that same trajectory. And also it eliminates the whole, wait until most of your eggs are gone factor, because while you're doing all of that, you're still going to be in your mid to late 20s, and you're still going to have plenty of eggs to potentially have a family. So in my personal opinion, logically speaking, that seems like the best option for women if they really want that. But like she said, what you're seeing is a lot of women, what women are doing is they're having their 304 phase during their college years, while at the same time getting that career off the ground. Then they get in their late 20s, early 30s, and then want to settle down. That's typically what you're seeing nowadays. But just my opinion. But anyway, let's keep it moving.
And if you want your house clean, hire me a maid.
No.
I'm not a slave.
No. I agree. I'll hire the maid and I'll marry the maid. I'll marry the maid.
As a man, it is your responsibility, regardless of whether she worked, to take care of her.
But let me give you an example, okay? If you have average Abdullah, he's working 40 hours a week. As his wife, her name's Bushra, basic Bushra. She's also working 40 hours a week. Both of them are coming home after a 40-hour work week, tired. Just as tired as each other. But my 40 hours is paying for everything in the house. And your 40 hours is going on your Mac foundation. Do you understand? Furthermore, if my 40 hours that I work per week covers everything in the household, okay, and you want to work, not only will I not be involved in the household chores, I will expect you to contribute towards the household bills.
You have no job. Well, maybe you do work. You keep most of your money. I pay all the bills. I buy the food. I keep our son looking fresh, vacations, all this. I'm doing this. Home every night. Me. You get $15,000 in the mail, $12,000 in the mail. How you gonna look at me in the eye and tell me you love me? I'm your partner. I'm your soldier, daddy. It's me and you. But not when it comes to money. See, everybody want to ride out when it's convenient. It's easy to ride my wave when I'm the one doing everything. I love Guapo, yeah, because I'm the one on the ship doing this. Like, this is my wave. When your wave come, oh, this is my wave. I'm a woman. You know, I had the kid in my stomach. I get all the money. Yeah, but that kid, when it came, I helped feed the kid. Okay. You feel me? Like, so my thing is like, I'm not saying that I want half the money. And truthfully, I might not even ask for the money. But I want the option to know that you're willing to share the money. Okay. Because that's for us. That's a come up. Now, if it's for the kid, then when they come, put it in a CD account. Right. Buy Bitcoin in. If it's all about the kids, all right, bet, babe. It came in, all right, cool. Put it on the table. Let's put it in the bank tomorrow and buy him a Bitcoin or buy some gold. And now, if you're going to your hair, vacation, some shoe, because the mall was packed. I was in the mall recently. Yeah, Gucci.
Everybody was getting
See, Gucci and Prada had long lines. All the high-end stores had no lines. So y'all spending that money. And that money y'all get is like, and I get it. Being a woman is harder than being a man. You know, y'all end up always.
What it really comes down to with these kind of women when it comes to this, I guess you could say, subtopic of this topic that we're discussing, it really comes down to these women the reason why they want a man that can match them financially is so that way he can provide the same lifestyle that she could provide herself without actually having to help contribute to that lifestyle. That's what it really comes down to. Let's keep it moving.
Women with money are not a boss. And that's what they need to understand. They're a woman with money. That's it. No, because like, here's the thing. I'm listening, and all I hear is, see, a boss gets all the jobs done. That's what a boss is. A boss doesn't say, I'm tired. I can't do this job today. I'm tired. I can't do that job today. A boss gets all the jobs done. So if you just because you got money, you need to understand that you're not a boss bitch. You're a woman with money, and there's a big difference. So I feel like this is what happens. We got a lot of women trying to get money, and this is going back to what I kind of said like a couple minutes ago or whatever. There is a certain sense of selfishness that is like natural for women. I don't get it. Because a man makes so much money to be a boss man. And by a boss man, he makes as much money as he can to take care of his house, to take care of his wife, to take care of his kids, to make sure everybody's doing well, to in all levels and aspects.
Make sure they're fed. Make sure they're fed.
Make sure they're fed.
Being told all these years, like, you don't need a man, focus on your career, be a boss babe. And then I make it there and I'm like, dude, I just did all that shit by myself. Yeah. I have no one to celebrate it with. I have no one to go through the ups and downs with. If I fall on my face, I kind of just have to pick myself back up. I have friends and family, but I feel that having a significant other to grow with and experience life with, I don't know what that feels like because I've been so focused on my career. Being told.
Now tell me you haven't heard that story before. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this. If you're new to the platform, please subscribe. OGs, I appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all hit that bell notification. That way I know when I'm uploading. Hit the like button because that's what the algorithm and helps me reach a broader audience. Also look out for the travel vlog channel, Unplugged Traveler. Link is in the description. Until the next video, y'all. Deuces.